Do you have a Mark 7 Golf GTI like that one and you need to replace your coil packs or spark plugs? Check out this video. Hi there guys, welcome to another Ross Perry Productions video and welcome to another video on the lovely Golf GTI Mark 7. Now this is the performance edition, but this process should be the same on most petrol models of the Golf Mark 7. Now in this video I'm going to be showing you how easy it is to remove and replace the coil packs and also the spark plugs on this car. Now I've worked on a whole load of Golfs in the past and I've owned one myself, and I know that this is a really common issue, so you might want to learn how to do this anyway. Now we're not going to need many tools, we're just going to need a ratchet or wrench depending on where you are in the world, an extension bar with a long reach 10mm socket, and also a 16mm spark plug removal tool like that. So as you can see, I've already started to pop the bonnet, but if you don't know how to do that, just go into the driver's side and pull this lever here. And once you've done that, we're just going to put a hand in above the VW badge, squeeze that lever there and lift up the bonnet. That is now safe and secure. So our coil packs are pretty much found right on top in the middle of the block here, and I would like to just point out you never do this task when the engine is hot, or if you absolutely have to, please make sure you do wear the right PPE, being gloves for this task. So what you're going to do is just pull this plastic section off, and it's relatively easy to do. Just go around all four corners and pull it off. Now I'm going to flip this over. I'll actually use that as a little tray to put all my tools and also any nuts and bolts I remove. Now just to show you the coil packs, they're actually these here. You've got 4 of them in line and you've got your electrical connections just on top of them there. And you've also got a second electrical connection here that you're going to need to remove. Now the spark plugs are housed just directly below those, but I'll show you that in the video. Now like I say, relatively simple to do, but the most difficult part is if you're trying to remove one of the middle ones, you might have to loosen off the electrical connection from the side ones as well. Now for the sake of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and do this one here. So you just squeeze that in and pull the electrical connection off like that. Nice and simple. It does just rotate round as well. And then I'm going to get my 10mm socket and ratchet, and I'm just going to go ahead and take that top nut all the way off. It shouldn't be done too tight, and you can just do it with your fingers. This engine's nice and cold, so that's good. And what that'll allow you to do is actually just remove that electrical connection on top. Once you've got that out of the way, you can just get your 10mm long reach socket again and then take off the next one. So this is actually what's holding on the coil pack. Excuse the shadows. So again, shouldn't be done up too tight. Oh, it is too tight for my fingers. So take that back, but nice and easy with the socket there. Looks like it's loosened off a bit. What you find is these sometimes spring against the bolt. So it can be a little hard. Obviously I'm doing this one-handed, the other hand on the camera. Once you've got that out, you can just take that all the way out like that and put that aside. Now this is where you would normally get 2 hands on, but I'm just going to try and brace myself. And you're just going to try and lift the coil pack directly up. There you go, mine's starting to come now. But they do create a bit of a suction on top. There we go. Again, normally a 2-handed job. So that is what our coil pack looks like. So basically what this does is increases voltage. So it's got a transformer on the end, and it sends a higher voltage down to our spark plug. So these do a breakdown over time, and I would read out the product code there, but I feel it's actually better for you to go and have a look on your car, and you can give your part supplier that product number. So with the coil pack now off the car, we can just go ahead and look down, making sure my shadow's not in the way. Looking down there, and that's actually where our spark plug is. So what we're going to do now is change over to our spark plug removal tool, like that. So like I say, 16mm, which is like the more modern size. Get that all the way down to the bottom and make sure it clicks in. Now, again, 2-handed job, so forgive my camera work. There we go, we're loose. These are never done up too tight, and you should remember that when you actually put it back on as well. So I like to just loosen it and do the rest by hand. Now these spark plugs do have an incredibly long thread, as you can see there. So it's a seriously long thread. Let me just go ahead and get it out of the tool. So a pretty strange style of spark plugs on this. Now it does actually have the model number down on the side there. It's a bit hard to read on camera, but again, I would like you to check the ones on your car to make sure you buy the right ones. So that's our spark plug. So what we're going to do is when we get our new ones, we can just put it straight back into the tool, making sure you've got the type of tool that has a rubber grip and then we're going to put that in by hand. It's important to always do this up by hand because you don't want it to cross thread, and you do that as tight as you can, and then you change over to the ratchet. You're just going to put that all the way down, straight away down, and you should feel it start taking quite easily because you've been so careful. And once you've got that back in, I'm just going to nip it up a little bit by hand, but again, don't over tighten it. And there is a torque setting for this as well. However, I don't have a torque wrench on me at the moment, and I've been doing this long enough to know how tight they get. That said, always worth checking. So once we've got that in, we're just going to go ahead and get our coil pack and start putting that back down, which is pretty much the same but in reverse. So we're just going to slide that straight away down, making sure you keep it nice and parallel and don't get that electrical connection in the way. So you're going to push that down as hard as you can. Now it won't feel like it fully seats on these spark plugs, it just kind of presses on, but then when you start to do it up with the bolt, it will start to seat it more and more. So again, like always, try to do that up by hand the best you can, and then change over to the tools after. And we can go ahead and do this up. Just need to do this up as tight as you can by hand, but you don't need to put any real pressure on the bar. It does have a metal collar in the middle of the coil pack. That's enough. Once that's done, I'm just going to put the connection back on and then tighten the 10mm nut up as well. And then on goes the electrical connection. Now, before I go ahead and put the cover back on, I'm just going to talk you through the coil packs. So like I said, there are 4, and I would recommend if one has failed, I'd replace the whole lot of 4. If money's an issue, then obviously you can go ahead and just replace one at a time, but the chances are if one's failed, the others may fail as well. And I'd suggest the same with spark plugs. You never want to replace just one spark plug, always try to replace the set. Now the last thing is, obviously, just to put our cover plate back on, what I like to do is just line it up with this pipe on the front there, and you can lower it down, and there you go. That's a job complete. Now it is exactly the same for all 4 spark plugs and all 4 coil packs. Like I say, it's just a little bit more difficult with the ones in the middle because you do have to flex that bit of plastic at the back a bit more. So I hope you found that video interesting or helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, check out some of my other videos and subscribe to my channel.